Hello everybody, it's Jamie from Old Shipping Lines and welcome to a kind of sneak peek video of a video we'll be filming tomorrow on board the SS steamship Shieldhall. I've covered her story on the channel before, called the iconic steamship Shieldhall, where we covered her story and formerly her history as a sludge ship and actually how she is still a sailing steamship, a museum ship actually. Tomorrow we are actually going on board a Voyage, the Solent steam Voyage, and we'll take you with us. But for now this is a kind of sneak peek of actually our hunting grounds. For me, I'm personally very excited to be here. I've of course posted many photos and videos of course about the ship, on the channel. So it's a little bit surreal standing here, a little bit nervous, but I hope you will enjoy the product that we are about to show you. Thank you. Now we will take you to the owner, or one of the owners of the ship, Phil, and he will give us some sneak peeks on the rooms that normally passengers couldn't visit. I hope you enjoy. So like I said in the post, we're doing a video kind of tour of the ship, going through all of her interiors, but here I'm standing with Sir Phil. Phil, introduce yourself. What is it what you do with this ship? Explain.
Okay, my name's Phil Stevens. I'm one of the volunteers on Steamship Shieldhall. The ship is entirely run by volunteers, from captain down to cabin boy. Everybody volunteers. This is our hobby and this is our big boy's toy, basically. On board I'm part of the deck team. I'm also a trustee of the charity that owns the ship. Nowadays the ship is used mainly for passenger sailings, because that's how we earn enough money to keep her running. Fare paying passengers. Previously she was used to carry sewage out to sea.
Yes.
And this is one of the valves that used to be opened to let the cargo out.
Ah, really?
Yeah. And so it's I'll explain better down below, but basically there's no pumping, it's all done by gravity. Yeah. Okay, it's a small vertical ladder. You manage that? Down onto that platform?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. So this is one of the original cargo tanks. As you can see, we've now converted it to a workshop. Woodworking workshop at that end and metalworking workshop at this end. But initially this was one of her 4 tanks for cargo, which was sewage. And if we walk to the back, I can show you how the sewage was discharged.
Excellent. Ah, yeah.
Yeah. So on the deck above is a big black wheel.
Yeah.
When that wheel is opened, this would have come up, and there's one at each end of the tank. So each tank had 2 dumping valves. What they would do to dump is the ship would be put on a very tight turn, say to starboard, to empty these tanks. But the port engine was stopped. So going fast on a tight turn, that creates suction. It's called the Venturi effect.
Yeah.
And that would suck the whole cargo out, and then the ship would slow down and straighten up, and that would flood back in then with seawater.
I see.
So she was always weighted down either with seawater or with sewage.
Yeah.
And then once one side of the ship was emptied, she'd do the same going the other way. And the reason they turned the engine off on the side they were emptying is because the engines have big condensers to turn the steam back into water. And what we didn't want, or what they didn't want, was the sewage being sucked into the condensers. So they turned the engine off once they did it.
Exactly. Interesting.
Have a guess what that machine is. The one that you can hear.
Ventilation? No?
It's our own sewage treatment plant. So we had to put a sewage treatment plant onto the ship. So the most ideal place to put it was in an old sewage tank.
Wow.
For these engines comes up from the boiler room. So the ship has more than 20 steam engines on board. This is just 2 of them. Steam engines are very easy to drive. They've only got 2 controls. You've got forward and reverse, fast, slow. That's
exactly.
it.
Exactly.
So the backward and forward motion is on this cotter rod, which turns this wheel. This wheel has a small axle here which drives this main flywheel. And this main flywheel drives this main axle here.
Wow.
And if this was a steam locomotive, this would just be railway wheels rather than drums. But it's exactly the same. And the anchor's out of gear at the moment. If we want to move the anchor on using this engine, then we just engage this cog into here using the lever at the back there. Engage this cog, and then this will drive this wheel, which drives the anchor.
Oh wow.
And we have galley, which is still being worked on. We're refurbing the galley at the moment.
Oh wow.
So this is
Hiya.
Hello, all right.
Hello.
How are we doing?
Excellent.
Hi,
Thank
nice
you.
to meet you.
Hello.
So this is Jeff.
Jeff. You're famous, Jeff.
Yes, no problem.
Jeff.
I've got my haircut. Actually, it was haircut. Yes.
Jeff was on the ship from day 1.
Oh wow.
You never let me off.
So he was one of the original members that saved the ship for preservation back in the 80s. And he's busy. We're just refurbishing the galley at the moment.
Wow.
And Lewis is our webmaster. He looks after all our.
Jamie.
Jamie, nice to meet you. You're right.
Jamie and his father are filming for Old Shipping Lines.
Oh, fantastic.
YouTube channel.
Yeah, the YouTube channel. Yeah, we follow it on that.
Oh really?
Yeah, we follow you. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to get your details because we share all your content. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Really? Pleasure.
Okay.
Pleasure.
Right, we'll carry on walking around.
Yeah, see you later.
Yeah. You'll be able to watch this fan working tomorrow. We're just coming up to steam at the moment, but this is a steam fan. It's the forced draft fan, so that's what is forcing the air down into the boilers to help with the combustion.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a big steam-driven fan.
So.
Yeah. You'll get a better view of it working tomorrow because we'll have the door open when it's working.
I'm really thankful that you're showing all the off-limit spaces for us.
Yeah, that's okay.
It will be amazing.
Steering engine.
Yeah.
Titanic had one the same, but hers was bigger. So the way they work is that the steering wheel on the bridge connects to this engine using hydraulic signals. That's where the hydraulics come in over there.
Yeah.
Those hydraulic signals are then interpreted into engine movements and the steam engine, and that turns those movements turn this cog here, which then drives the quadrant backward and forward, and then the quadrant axle at the end goes straight down onto the rudder.
Really?
So to get the rudder to move, that engine you'll hear this going back tomorrow when you're sailing. You'll see it goes backward and forward all the time.
Yeah.
This ship is awful to steer.
I can imagine.
She has two propellers with a single rudder in the middle, which is quite small, and so she takes a long time to respond to a change of direction. But if she's difficult to steer, she's even more difficult to keep in a straight line.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Because everything is affecting her. It could be the propellers going at slightly different speeds, it could be the wind, the tide, the sea currents, whatever. It's all these things will make her difficult to go in a straight line. So the helmsman is constantly adjusting the wheel, so this machine, when we're sailing, is constantly moving. And you'll be able to see it tomorrow because we leave the big door open and just put the cage across so people can look in.
Wow.
Yeah. They can't come in like we are now.
Of course, yeah.
But we do have a lot of redundancy on the steering. I'll show you on the deck above when we go outside. But if we were to lose the connection to the bridge, say the hydraulics broke or there was a fire on the bridge and we had to abandon the bridge, we can still steer the ship because above us there's a small steering wheel which comes down this rod, and we can drive the engine using that small steering wheel.
I see.
Yeah. If we lose a steam engine, we can still steer the ship because what we would then do is we would undo these three nuts, same on the other side, and there's a jacking bar at the front here. We can jack the engine to disengage these, so the engine will come back a bit, and then we can drop that cog down, on that rod, and above us there's a big wooden steering wheel and we can actually steer the ship manually.
Incredible.
Very hard work.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Boy.
And the worst scenario is we lose the rudder, and we can still steer the ship without a rudder because we have two engines which are independent. So using different engine movements, we can maneuver the ship into a safe place to drop the anchor and wait for a tug.
So basically, everything can go wrong, but you can still steer the ship.
Yeah. And this was typical of the early 20th century. For some reason, they built so much redundancy into the steering. So yes, we'll never be in a position where we can't steer the ship.
Exactly. Yeah.
I am Donald. How do you do?
Excellent.
Welcome on board the Shieldhall. What you see right in front of you is an old magnetic compass, which the seaman will use for steering when the gyro compass has stopped working. So we can just use that. The gyro compass is down in the box there, and for the gyro compass we have repeaters up here which give us a course that the helmsman can steer. And you can feel, if you have a feel there, you can feel it's quite stiff, and you need a lot of muscle to turn the wheel. And this is a old hydraulic system, the same as the Titanic.
Oh really? Yeah.
And on this side here we have the navigation lights, so that's the shape of the ship, and then these are the lights. These are indicator lights. Over here we have the chart table. That's just my book bag.
No worries.
And we have the navigation charts, which we are still using. We are a paper chart system until 2030.
Really?
But we also use ECDIS, which is a navigation chart system as well. We have a radar. And this here is our rev counter. So when the engine turns, a compressed air pushes these little shuttlecocks and go up and down. You take your watch. After 1 minute, you can see how fast the engine is going. So nowadays we have all electronics, but you can tell. But it gives us an indication if the engine is going ahead or astern. Okay. Just telephone communication system. We have a computer system for all our plant maintenance. In the far corner we have a echo sounder, which is the depth indicator. We have a VHF, DSC VHF.
Yeah.
We have an automatic identification system, which a lot of ships have nowadays,
Yeah.
even the yachts.
Yeah.
We have a sat-nav, 2 sat-navs, and we have still a Navtex, which doesn't give us very much information anymore. We have MF-HF radio, which is an old system which we don't use, but we have kept it because it's part of the heritage.
History, yeah.
And from the old radars, we have a guide here, which is an antenna guide. So this copper tube was the waveguide that the microwave would travel in up to the radar. So we have kept that for people to see. The new radars, it's all within the transceiver unit up on top. And we have an old radar that's a sailor radar, which many sailors know, and that's just to look at. But we have a new one which is quite compact, which is good. And then these are emergency survival craft radios, which we use, and PA system, so we can make announcements to the passengers and invite and welcome them on board. And then at the end of the passage, we thank them very much for a very pleasurable trip.
Of course, yeah.
Most important item is the telegraph, which when you move that, it goes ding, 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 and then that gives the movement that you want. So you see we have 2 levers, so one is for port and the other one is for starboard, so that is backboard and steuerbord, Good.
So you're German?
No, I just learned all these words in my time at sea. So it's you have to know about backboard and steuerbord and voorkant and achterkant and.
And how's the kitten named there?
The kitten, that's the ship's cat. That's Felix.
Felix the ship's cat.
Felix the ship's cat, or we have various names depending how we feel about it. Sometimes he's very angry, he gets a bit seasick. So that's our bridge system that we have, and it works very well.
I can imagine.
So there's a lot of manual combined with new electronics, which we try and include sympathetically, which is good. And we bring a lot of cadets and young people on board.
Oh, people still sleep here then?
Crew do. The crew do at the weekend. Yeah, this is my cabin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there's 3 bunks in a very small room. So it's a bit cosy.
So
I guess a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, we got a bar. So
It makes up a lot.
And I heard something from your guy on the Soja who said that the carpet, one of the cabins was a red carpet or green, and it came actually from the Queen Elizabeth II. This one. Yeah. So, there we go. Because this was still from their age when she was sailing, right? This is a Cunard carpet.
Yeah, believe it or not. It's a bit dirty, but... So this forward part of the forecastle is out of bounds to passengers, but we've got another steam engine there. That engine drives the windlass, sorry, not the windlass, the capstan that I showed you on the forecastle. And then we've got general storage here. This is it's called the lamp room. It's where the old oil lamps used to be stored when she had oil lamps as reserves for the electric navigation lights. And then behind that door is paint, and behind this door is paint. Our paint store is are just metal boxes, and that's deliberate. It's for safety. If there's a fire, we'll just shut the door and flood it with water, rather than try and fight a paint fire.
Yeah, of course,
And then down here is the chain locker, so we'll go down and have a look where the anchor chain is stored.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go down back. So this is the chain locker. So called because the anchor chain or ankle cable is using its proper name is stored here. Do you know how anchor chains are measured in lengths? The unit of measure?
Faintly.
Yeah. It's measured in an old seaman's term called a shackle. and a shackle in length is 15 fathoms. 15 fathoms is 90 feet, which is about 27.5 meters.
Yeah.
So we have 7 shackles on each side.
Wow.
Yeah. So what's that? That's about 150 meters plus on each side, 200 meters on each side. But you know how an anchor works? So it's the chain, length of chain laid out on the seabed, and the friction of the chain on the seabed that holds the ship, not the actual anchor itself. The anchor, all the anchor does is pull the chain out.
Exactly. Mighty beast.
Fresh water storage for the forward end of the ship. A fire pump. That's our emergency fire pump there. So it's just a storage area as well, which is one thing we are blessed with on this ship, which most ships aren't, is storage. We've got a lot of space.
Yeah, I see.
And most ships don't. But the prime the prime use of this area is for the anchor chains.
So, hello everybody, it's Jamie from Old Shipping Lines and welcome back to a new kind of video vlog tour of a ship. Now today we are in Southampton in England and we are on the museum steamship Shieldhall. I'm very excited for this video. We've been here yesterday, but today is sailing day, kind of the maiden voyage of this season, for which I'm extremely excited. So what can you expect in the video of today? So for me, it was yesterday. We've been to kind of the interior spaces where passengers aren't normally allowed. We filmed there. We've been to the engine room where one of the owners of the ship, Phil Stevens, he explained how all those rooms works, kind of. So what you can expect today is to see all those rooms where the passengers can go, at least in action. So again, the engine room, we'll go to the bridge, and of course we'll also show some exciting exterior and interior shots. Now the voyage we have booked for today is the Solent Steam Voyage. It is a voyage from 3:30 till 7 p.m. So quite a long one, but I'm very excited. I'm very thankful also for all the crew who helped me make this video possibility. And yeah, I'm a little bit nervous, if you can tell, but I hope you will enjoy this video, and please let me know what future museum tour I should do of what ships. I have an idea, but I would like to hear your suggestions as well. I hope you guys enjoy, and thank you. So I hope you can hear me with the engines going in the wind. If not, we will put a subtitles on the bottom. But what I wanted to say is this is now a very emotional moment for me, and a special moment for me, because like I said in the intro, of course we are in Southampton. Southampton is of course a place where the RMS Titanic left to sail into tragedy and never return for a maiden voyage. The thing that is important or extraordinary is, if you can see that ship right there, I will point my finger. That P&O ship is actually docked at where the Titanic was docked during her maiden voyage. And it's a very surreal moment to actually be so close to Titanic history. As you'll know, in previous videos, I've been studying Titanic since I was 11 years old, and to be exact at the exact spot of where she left for a maiden voyage is very surreal. So again, I will point out, it's a big cruise ship over there with the P&O cruises. That is where the RMS Titanic used to be docked, and where she left for a maiden voyage to never return. Isn't it a wonderful sight? Seeing all the ships. That ship right there is actually going to Norway now. The one backing out. Now, as we pass the big P&O cruise ship right next to her, the empty dock is the exact dock of where the RMS Titanic used to be berthed when she left Southampton to go on her maiden voyage, from which she never would return. The dock today is only used by cargo vessels and merchant vessels. The reason for that being is that the crews of cruise ships are scared to use that dock because they are afraid that if they use that dock, that something like the Titanic will happen to them.
When the steam goes into the very first piston,
yeah,
it's got 100% of its energy. So it uses that energy to drive the piston, and then gets exhausted into the second piston, but it's used some of its energy. So we need to put more steam into the second piston, yeah, so it's bigger. And then that drives the second piston, uses a bit more energy. So for the third piston, more steam. That's why it's bigger. So that each piston takes more steam to drive it because it's losing its energy after each motion.
I understand, yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing you can see from here is that metal cylinder going across the bulkhead. It's called a feed water preheater. So all of the machinery back here, the steam is enclosed in an enclosed system, and we then go through a condenser to turn it back into water, and the water then goes back into the boilers. But it's so cold that we need to warm it back up.
Really?
So it goes through that preheater before it goes into the boilers. Yeah. captain has a telegraph on the bridge, which is connected to this one. It's a chain, like a bicycle chain. And the captain will tell the engine driver which direction the engine should go, ahead or astern, and how fast he wants it to go, full, half, or slow. He'll operate his telegraph so that this indicator shows what engine speed he wants. Let's say it's half ahead. Yeah. Then the engine driver down here will move his handle to half ahead, and that will show the captain that the engine driver has understood and heard the order and understood the order. He will then increase or decrease the speed of the engine by putting more steam into it or taking steam out, and operate it either forward or reverse using this lever. Like I said before, steam engines are simple, 2 controls only. They determine how fast the engine is going to go by how much steam goes in. So the more steam pressure going in, so let's say 150 pounds per square inch of steam is on full ahead. I don't know the exact figures, I'm just giving an example here. So say 100 pounds per square inch might be half speed ahead. And so the only way they can control the engine speed is through the steam pressure they're putting in.
I understand. Yeah.
Open crankcase straight onto the propeller shaft. So that's the propeller shaft at the bottom here, and that goes all the way through these bushes, through these bearings, out through the back of the ship, where the propellers are. Yes?
Yes.
You'll notice all the pipework is color coded.
Yeah.
Blue is fresh water, green is seawater, red is fire water for the firemen.
Of course, yes.
Yeah. Brown is fuel.
Yeah.
So we color code all the pipes so that otherwise you could be down here and you say, well, what does that pipe do?
Exactly.
What's inside that pipe?
Yes.
Ja.
Nou,
heet je dit?
Ja.
Goed. Hoe gaat het?
Gaat goed.
Goed.
Gaat goed.
Goed.
She's sailing well, yeah?
Ja?
Yeah.
Fantastisch. Prima.
Ja, prima.
Yeah.